my God, your poor dad.
All right. Welcome back to Your Poor Dad. You can't choose your sisters, but you can choose your podcast. So thank you for joining us and being the fourth Brandt sister.
Thank you.
Thank you. We actually have a fourth Brandt sister here today. We are so honored to have a media maven in the house with us, the co-founder and chief revenue officer of Betches, founder of Faux Pas, co-host of You Up and Oversharing, Jordana.
Thanks so much for having me. It's so great to be here. I love the sister energy. You know, I have 5 sisters, so I get it.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I knew that you had a lot of siblings, but I really wanted to know the sister to brother ratio.
So we're a blended family. So like my parents have both been married a couple times. So I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers. So there's 9 of us total. So it's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, that's a lot of sister energy. And sister energy can be a lot.
Definitely. Yes. And my dad actually only has 5 daughters.
Oh,
no
okay.
sons. So my mom has 3 sons from her first marriage. So I have 3 like half brothers, but my dad has 5 girls in a row.
Your dad probably hears Your Poor Dad all the time.
Definitely. Yeah. Especially with the amount that we fight, which is just like constant.
So is it like a bickering sister vibe? Because we bicker a lot.
Oh yeah. We're constant. I mean, now that we don't live together, not as much, but growing up, we would like share, if we'd share the car, we'd share clothes, it would always be screaming at each other over like, that's my, if someone walks downstairs and they're like, that's my shirt, like you didn't ask.
Yeah, that would be the, like I would wait till she left the house.
Yeah.
And then I would go to her closet.
That's respectful.
And then she would see a picture and then I'd be like, oh shit.
It was always interesting because I was in a sorority to see the girls who didn't grow up with sisters. Then when people would steal their clothes, it was like, how dare this girl steal my shirt? I'm like, that is my life. That's just...
Right. Nothing is yours.
You're in the jungle, baby.
Yeah, welcome. Now you have 90 people. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this, Jordana. We are so excited to have you. We're big You Up fans.
Oh, thank you.
And we actually went to the show last night.
Yeah.
At the Paramount in Austin, and it was so much fun. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about the show because we had a great time.
Yeah. First, how long have you guys been doing live shows?
So we've been doing live shows probably since like 2018. Maybe we did our first one, and then we did in 2019 we did like 21 cities. Then we took like a 2-year break because of the pandemic, and then we just restarted in December and we got our summer tour. Yeah, it's been very cool.
So what has the Austin audience been like compared to the other ones?
The Austin audience is like ready to go. I thought you guys are one of our best audiences so far. You were just like so much energy. Everyone's like drinking, they're ready to go out. I mean, some cities are weird on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night, but I didn't feel that vibe at all here. I feel like
Not here.
good.
The faux pas was flowing. It
Sold
ran out.
Yeah. We
That's what
couldn't
I
get
heard,
a second round. We had to switch to beer. We were bummed.
Well, next we need to get more. We're always selling out. That's the thing about faux pas. It's like how I know, because usually, if someone tries it around me, they're like, I made it, so I'm not. I can't really trust that they're gonna give me a real rundown.
I'll give you real feedback. I'm usually strictly a beer girl. I don't really like seltzers. I don't really like any kind of canned drink, and Bailey brought them home a few weeks ago, and that the vodka lemon mint, oh my gosh, it is my favorite drink. And I actually tried the mule, what was it called? The
mule, I don't know.
It's like
the Bartlett pear
yeah.
vodka mule. Yeah,
I liked that one too because I don't really like tequila, so I always stick to vodka.
Okay.
And I was like 2 for 2. The only 2 I've tried, I'm like, this is amazing because I don't like anything else. So I'm happily impressed.
Amazing. Yeah. I love to hear that. Yeah, no, it's great because they're gone whenever they get here. There's something for everyone, unless you don't like tequila or vodka, in which case maybe not. But most people find it, there's no like bad flavor. Everyone finds at least one flavor I think that they really connect with, which is just amazing. It's really great to see people enjoying it, just like out having them with their friends or their sisters, and just like bringing people together, because I feel like that's what at Betches, that's what we do best when we're at our best, is just bringing friends together, like laughing and just having fun.
Yeah. I think that's why it was like getting a little unruly at the end of the show last night. Everyone was like, having a lot of opinions and reactions and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, that's that faux pas talk, and I like it.
But also some of those stories were like wild.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Yeah. Well, I loved the girl that her boyfriend didn't tell her he had a kid for 2 years.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
It was,
But
I'm
she's
like-
like,
But then it was
doesn't tell you he has kids for like 2 months, and then
he has
we've
a
been
kid,
together
and
for
then
2
2
years.
And then that was the bomb drop, is that they had been together for 2 years, and it's like, okay, well, why are you asking like hundreds?
too late
what do you
for
want
you.
to know? Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah. Sounds like you made up your mind. Like, we don't need to tell you.
yeah. But she's clearly not settled with the experience because she's asking about it 2 years later. So it's still clearly in the back of your head. It's interesting how like you can move on from stuff, but not really ever forget it. Like,
Yeah.
She's clearly still kind of hung up on the fact that he didn't tell her that.
Well,
Yeah.
and she probably has the fear of like, okay, so if we continue dating, what if we have kids together and it doesn't work? Like, are you just going to move to another state and start over again? Like, this is nuts.
And pretend
Yeah.
that you don't have any children.
Yeah.
2 months is a long time to pretend you don't have kids.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
And they're not on his socials.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Also
Calculated.
weird, yeah.
Yeah, that's
really weird.
that would be a deal breaker. Not even red flag, deal breaker.
Well, I want to know what happened to that girl, the bar girl.
yeah.
that sent the text.
Well, the audience doesn't know
Yeah.
what, so you have to give them a rundown.
Right. Well,
Long story short, that's going to be hard for you because you were.
an audience member went up and she was reading her text messages between her and the situationship guy.
Yeah.
And
They hang out, but it's mainly a drinking relationship.
yeah, and she kind of
And-
plays with, I kind of like you. And he'll be like, this is casual. Yeah. This is nice.
And then she'll say, well, our friends think that we are dating. And I loved your point of that you're using the friends to kind of guide the situation where she needed to be very straightforward.
Yeah, and I think people are hesitant to do that because they're scared. It's like very vulnerable to be like, I want to date you. Sounds like you're like giving a lot of yourself away, but that's really like kind of how you have to be. Otherwise, the other person's kind of, and you could tell from his text that he was like evading all the questions, or you also using the friends to like not make it personal. But
Yeah.
it's very personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talk about vulnerable, going up on stage in front of people and
God.
reading
And
like
sending
having your phone
text.
up there. I would die. I'd be too scared.
well, and then sending that text.
Yeah.
She sent it, yeah, and then that was when I was like, I really fell in love with the Austin audience. She pressed send. Jared said she pressed send. We sent it, and then the entire audience just like burst into like excited,
Yeah.
arms up, just like ready to go. It was like the home stretch of a baseball game.
It really was. You're
go.
like, she sent it.
Well, because everyone knows how that feels.
Oh yeah, it's like the biggest pit, but you need like a teammate to kind of rally you up. That's the best thing about sisters, because I'm like, if I ever need to like express my emotions, I'll call Paige because I'm horrible at my emotions.
The worst.
I'm like, how do I say I like you and I want to date you? She's like, you say I like you, I want to date you.
It sounds really scary, though. I get it. It's
Yeah.
like, it's very hard to do. It takes a lot of practice, I think.
Yeah, it really does, and I'm still learning, and I'm 33, so
Well, I am the only one that went through therapy, so we did so much practice in therapy, and I'm like, this was amazing. I loved therapy so much, and now I am able, I'm so maybe a little too direct with my text messages, with my dating. It's a little more, I don't want to say transactional, but it's as soon as I find something that I know is not going to be in the
Good
person
for
I'm
you.
looking for. It was great getting to know you. I don't see this moving forward.
this
See you later.
podcast really needs to be sponsored by your therapist.
I know.
If we could say his name, like, he would be getting a lot of
He would
clients.
be
He was great.
scared.
You're getting your
probably.
money's worth because
Totally.
you're relaying all the
Exactly.
tips
Well,
to the audience. Yeah.
Now I feel like I've been therapized because I've been listening to Oversharing a lot.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's the podcast I started with my sister.
Yes.
too. So it's love the sister podcast.
Who is
Thing.
a therapist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
A
what's it,
licensed therapist.
yeah. What's it like to actually have a sister who is a therapist instead of just a sister who went through therapy?
It's like talking to a therapist, but who also like knows you really well I guess your therapist eventually does know you very well. But for my sister too, it's like because she's not my actual therapist, I know about her personal life, and she can, I think, share more stuff about like, oh, this is exactly what I went through and she's 10 years older than me. So she has like
Okay.
the distance and like the time of reflection, instead of just being like a couple years older where she might be still going through it. She's kind of like already done all of the life stages that I've done. so she can really bring her personal experience to it, which I think is a little different than a therapist who usually isn't sharing a ton about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did that change the dynamic in your family? Like, now that she's a therapist and like you guys get together and you want to like all be fighting, is she like, guys, like calm it down here?
Yeah, she's definitely good at like she's definitely good at expressing herself in a very rational, calm way. And because she's a little older than the rest of my sisters, she's also a little bit more removed from us like screaming at each other. So she's almost more like a mom than a sister in that way.
Yeah. So one thing that we did want to ask you, because we like to kind of, you know, categorize ourselves by the Kardashians, because that's like the most famous sisters.
Jade likes to categorize
I do,
us.
because I'm the pop culture one. They're boomers. They literally only watch the Game Show Network.
Oh,
I'm not even
wow.
kidding.
I love that, though.
Yeah, they're
It's very healthier, probably.
Probably. So we like to say, like, what Kardashian are you? In your family,
Okay.
who are you?
I think I'm a Courtney in my family.
I'm
So
the
is
Courtney
Jade.
Are
too.
you the
I'm the
too?
Courtney, yeah.
I think I have like the probably like not. I feel like she has a muted energy of like, do you know what I mean? She's not like too excitable.
Yeah.
And the monotone voice, I would say I lean more Courtney-esque in my reactions. And
Yeah.
I don't like attention as much as I think my other sisters.
Yeah. We have a Kim here.
Yeah, I'm the Kim.
You're the Kim?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the Kim.
And then we have Kendall, who we need to check her pulse from
Oh,
time to
okay.
time.
So no one's the Chloe.
We
No.
dabble in Chloe-ness, I
Yeah,
think.
it's just
Hints of Chloe.
hints of Chloe.
Bailey is
Chloe
just
rising.
Bailey's just so Kendall. She can't be Chloe. Like she's just so Kendall.
Well, the thing is that I'm taking offense to right now is because they're vocal about Kendall being the worst Kardashian. And then they're also adamant that I am the Kendall. So I don't really know what they're saying about
You
me.
don't know if you should be insulted or not.
But didn't Jared say that Courtney is the worst Kardashian?
He did.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too.
I'm okay with that assessment.
Yeah.
He also said that she was strikingly beautiful. So that's
I don't relate to her in that way. I wish I did.
Same. Yeah. It's not a looks thing for me either.
Yeah.
It's more just like a vibe.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like I tend to like take the back seat when family stuff is going down. I kind of like retreat instead of get in it. And you're like,
No,
Kim.
you start it and then you walk away from it.
Okay, that too.
yeah.
So let's get to know Jordana. We already started to get to know you, but you founded Betches, which is insane. I mean, who doesn't know it? If you're a millennial woman, you know Betches.
Yeah.
You've been tagged in memes. Everyone's sharing things. So how did that start?
Thank you. That it started in college with my two college roommates who I also grew up with outside of New York, on Long Island with, and we started it really just kind of like as a joke, as like this was 2011, so people were still blogging then, and we just started like a website to kind of like make fun of ourselves and the people around us. And kind of just we were in a sorority. We were just kind of like this. We live in this sort of absurd, crazy like bubble where all these things are socially acceptable, but it's kind of they're absurd. So it was just like an outlet for us to kind of make fun of them. And then we posted on one person's Facebook wall, again, very 2011. And it went viral, and we were like, let's try to do this instead of getting a real job. It seems more fun.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So you have two co-founders. So what is your relationship like with your co-founders versus your sisters?
It's similar. I mean, at this point too, it's like it's actually almost it's more similar to like your relationship with our husbands.
So you have
almost,
so
in a
much
way.
invested.
Yeah, it's like we're in a three-way marriage, we like to say, because it's like we're financially intertwined. We spend a lot of time together. We have to make a lot of decisions together. So it's like a friendship, but with it's like a friendship with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And a lot of depending on each other. And we've been doing it now 11 years. So we worked out a lot of our kinks and like the way we communicate, and we've done a lot of work together to figure that out. But there's definitely been bumps along the road. And similar to like a sister kind of friendship, it's like you can feel like I can be really honest with you, which is good, but sometimes it's like I can be really honest with you, which is not good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and like we were saying before we started recording, it's like, okay, well, even if we get in a fight, at the end of the day, we're still sisters, so we have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're still like legally bound pretty much. That is like a marriage in that way of like, Well, we're gonna
figure this
Just
out.
walk away from this now.
Exactly. And we're friends. So we also like hang out as friends. And it's hard. In the beginning, it was a little hard to separate the two. You know, if you're out, are you talking about business? Or are you talking about your personal lives? Like, where do they come together? If you're annoyed with someone about business, do you take it into your friendship? There's like a lot to work out there. I'm sure you guys have seen that creating the show together.
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of bumps and learn. I think women, it's like the communication. I always feel this pressure to like not be dramatic or fight. And I don't know if men necessarily feel that. I feel like they're just more direct and like unemotional about things, you know?
Yeah. I think there's a lot more emotion put definitely in female relationships. But I also think there's the benefit of being better at expressing yourself in like a kinder, sort of more nurturing way than the men. Men usually don't speak to each other in what I would call a nurturing manner.
Yes, that is very true. And Paige and I have definitely had a lot of growing pains because like we were supposed to probably start this podcast in September and then we got into a huge fight and we had to take a break from it. And it's been learning like you kind of have to learn to like let go of some things instead of just
just say things differently.
Yeah,
like
nicer.
Jade is the type of person, she sees the big picture, and I immediately think of what it takes to get to that big picture. So I'm like, okay, well, we have to do this before we can do this.
Right.
And then she just immediately feels like
you're stomping on the dreams.
You're shooting down my idea. No, I'm trying to build up to it. But so now I know that that's a great idea. Like, let's work on getting there.
Yeah.
So we finally made this happen in January.
Yeah.
Totally. But there's also like, those are complementary roles. Like for you guys to have the same thought process, but actually not be as helpful to what you're trying to grow as each of you having your own thing that you bring to the table. You know what I mean? If one person's the big idea person, the other person's better at executing. That's like a good team. You know?
The other person is left girl.
That's what the audience calls her.
What do they call you?
Left girl, because I sit on the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your role?
She is our like errand queen, and she does all the stories. And then people really like to look at her. They're like, she has great hair.
You guys all have great hair.
Thank you.
I was thinking that when I walked in. I was like, everyone here has beautiful long blonde hair that I wish I had.
Thank you. And then, okay, I'm interested because I want to know how you guys started Faux Pas, which it's just such a good idea to like harness this community and then give them
exactly what
a
they
really
want.
amazing drink.
Exactly what they want. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this Faux Pas has been before we launched, it was about 2 years in the making, from like the ideation to all the different things that go into making an alcohol brand, which I didn't even know going into it. Like so many different parts of it, you know, from like the copy to the tasting. Like the tasting was almost like the easiest, most fun part because you're drinking and it's fun and you're trying it out. And then there's like all the other things and the copy, the way the can looks, the size of the can, like so many different things to consider. And then the distribution, you just have to learn so much about, you know, every state has their own alcohol rules. And we have a really good partner that we work with that handles a lot of like the back end parts of it. But it's been a very cool process to create the drink. And really what we like, the whole vibe around the drink of Faux Pas, as you guys know, is like kind of like a social blunder. And the idea behind Faux Pas is like not taking yourself too seriously. So if you're going out, you're drinking with your friends, you're having a good time, you can laugh at yourself, you're not perfect. And it's just bringing people together, just being able to laugh, which is like, again, the idea behind Betches itself.
Yeah. And that's like what I think the vibe that we want to cultivate, and like I think you guys do so beautifully, is like not taking yourself, like women, we need to kind of like lean on each other. I'm not even like a girl power kind of girl, but today I'm just feeling it. But like we do need to kind of like not be there for each other, to like not take ourselves so seriously. Like when I go through something like a breakup, it's nice to have that person that's like you can laugh about it with, so it's not just so like hard, you know.
Yeah, relatable, because everyone has been through these situations, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you just sometimes need somebody to talk about it with.
Yeah, if you do a faux pas, just crack open a faux pas.
Exactly.
Call your best girlfriends.
Laugh at yourself.
Laugh it up.
Yeah, and I mean I'm sure that also relates to TikTok really well. I know you guys have a really strong TikTok following. I feel like that's a really cool place where you see people talk about stuff that they're going through. I mean, podcasts are great for that too, but also TikTok is like when you're seeing the person speaking to you, it's a different kind of vibe, and those are like the really good videos I feel like that I've seen.
Yeah. And that's why I think what you and Jared do so well too is like, I love the dating profile, like everyone giving their opinion on it, because it like makes you feel like less attached to the dating profile too, where it's not like, oh, this is a reflection of me. It's like, no, we can all fix this together.
Yeah.
It's like a fun
Takes a
thing.
village.
All feel the same way too about our own dating profile. I was like, I think that I have a really strong profile, but like
But would
I
I
still
think
wouldn't
that,
want everyone to see it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's very people who come on stage, they're very brave, but I feel like we have fun with them. You know, it's all with love, even though we roast everyone. But it's like you said, it creates this like, okay, I also, you know what I mean? Everyone goes through the same things in dating, but it can feel really isolating. So it's really great to have everyone come together and sort of be like, everyone relates to having trouble on the apps, or not, you know, feeling frustrated with dating or feeling burnt out by dating. So I think instead of like thinking about it in a negative way, instead you're kind of turning it around and you're having fun with it and you're laughing about it, which makes it feel like less heavy.
yeah, because it seems like such a serious thing, especially that the girl that came on stage last night was like, I've been on for 5 years and I've only found one boyfriend. It's like, that is a shame. Like, sorry, but like also maybe relax a little bit.
One boyfriend in 5 years, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but also Sam had the boat, right?
Yeah.
So obviously we were looking at one dating app, but Zate is an Austin dating app, and it's really based on activities. So if Sam got on Zate and created his Zate that was like, I am looking for somebody who wants to go to the lake with me on my boat on Saturdays, he's going to find the exact girl that he's looking for.
So there's this new Austin dating app where you can, instead of just swiping on people's faces, you're creating like an experience, and then people react to that experience. So Sam, this guy who was at the show last night, who kind of led with the boat, his parents' boat.
Yes.
Heavily on the boat.
As we found out.
Yeah.
He's 24.
And I think in Austin, it's like, there's this thing like, do you want a Sam or do you want to stay away from the Sams? So Zate makes it a perfect vibe to where like, if you see, you know, the F boy with the boat, I'm down.
You know what you're getting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or also if it's like, I want to be wined and dined, like I'm gonna, like you can choose a specific restaurant, and then people who also want to go to that restaurant, like that's how you match, and then you like choose a person after.
That's so cool. So you guys like this app?
Oh, we love the app. And they're starting a platonic portion, so you can find friends that way too, because I just moved here.
Okay.
So I want to find fellow girlies that are willing to pay $20 for a cocktail for like a bougie experience, or, you know, like a Pilates class or whatever. Whereas you might say, I want to find a friend to go to a brewery and chug a beer.
Or to like a concert or something.
concert.
So
So it's more curated than like a Bumble BFF.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everyone, any other woman.
Yeah.
It's really good to like set the expectation too beforehand, to where it's not like, oh, well then like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Right.
It's like, oh, this guy just wants to go on a walk. I don't want to go on a walk. It's 110 degrees.
Yeah. Or he's like,
I feel that.
do you want to go to Chili's? And you're like, you can say, I want to go to Abba, which is one of like the best restaurants here that is like hard to get a reservation. So he kind of knows what he's getting himself into.
yeah.
But does everyone not want to go to the best restaurant? I guess some people don't care.
Some people-
Yes.
Well, I mean, there. For example, I went on a date. We went to Radio, which is beer and coffee. I order first, I get a beer, and then he says, I don't drink, so I'm getting a coffee. That would be nice to know ahead of time. I wouldn't have ordered this beer,
Right.
you know. So
Yeah.
at least I can match with somebody who also wants to go like grab a beer or grab a drink, you know, and he can match with somebody who just wants to go get a cold brew.
I like that. It's like a lifestyle app.
Yeah.
Yes.
almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you just like cuts to like the chase more than like, oh, so like what do you do? Like, do you drink? Like what's like all like the little chatty things. It's like, okay, you can get kind of
Less
a vibe.
small talk.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what you
get
want to
into
do.
What you really want to talk about.
It's what you want to do, not who you want to do, you know?
Wow.
Speaking of who you want to do, you are married. So I was married. I'm a divorcee. So but now I'm like back in the dating game, and you know, I'm getting my little toes wet in Austin. So let's talk about how you met your husband.
Sure. So we met. My friend from college was at the time dating. They're married now. Dating his friend from high school, and I was like, to him, do you have any friends? that, I was single at the time, and I was like, do you have any friends? And he set me up with my now husband.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, why can't my friends do that?
They've tried.
Well, do your friends have like new, I feel like it's something you have to catch them like right as it's a new relationship.
Well, yeah, okay, that's a really good point.
Sometimes you already like by the time, if you wait too long, you're like, you already know them.
Yeah, I know them too well. I mean, my friends got her boyfriend, so I guess it worked out for one of us.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way. And I have been making it more of a point to ask people, like, do you have anyone that you would want to set me up with? And I feel like that's like the play, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of people I feel like are hesitant to do that because they make it, I don't know, that it feels like you're putting yourself out there by saying that. But
Yeah.
I always feel like I love setting people up. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I'm like, if I can because I met someone through a setup, and that's changed my life so much, and it's, added so much happiness to my life. I'm like, how can I do that for someone else? And I'm always thinking of people to match with other people. And I just think it's such a great way to meet people, especially if it's someone you know and trust, because no one, they wouldn't set you up with someone who would be like completely awful. Do you know what I mean? I always like to say this when I if and when I set someone up, I'm like, I don't know if he's going to be like the guy for you 100%, but I know you'll have a good night.
Right.
Like, regardless of whatever the final outcome is, even if you don't get married.
Yeah. And that's a good, I think, because I've set up like a few of my friends who've actually gotten married, and then I've set up some friends that like it hasn't worked out at all. And they're like, I thought you said you had a good track record. I'm like, I mean,
it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee. You have to go into it with like an open mind, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
It's their fault, not your fault.
It's almost like so much pressure, like going into dating. Like sometimes I feel like my friends are like, if it is not a match, it's like, oh, like how could this even happen? And it's like, well,
so much pressure.
Yeah.
The pressure on it, then I feel like it's less likely to happen. If you're having fun, it's like a different.
Yeah,
totally.
Like, that's 3 weeks I'll never get back. Like, what a waste.
Well, my question is, I can only imagine how busy you are, right? And so you meet your now husband. How did you even find the time to date? Like, I have my full-time job, we're doing this on the side, and I'm exhausted, so, and I think it would be different if I was set up by friends that I trusted, instead of just having to put even more energy on an app trying to like find somebody. But where do you find that energy to just go out on a date to get to know somebody new?
Yeah, I think you have to like really want it, and I think if you're not excited to go on the date, you probably shouldn't go, because you're not going to bring.
You're not going to be your best self
anyway. But that's why I think like fewer better dates is the way to go. Like I'd rather go on 1 date a week and be like excited to like get out and meet someone and be like energized by it, than go on 4 and be like in a mood every time I'm going out, or be like, then you become burnt out and super judgmental. So I think like you can make something a priority without making it your part-time job.
Yeah.
Like, then sometimes it can feel like that. I remember dating and being on the apps in New York City and being like, this feels like another job on top of the job that I already have, and it's not fun. And if you're doing it like that, you're probably not going to meet someone, because again, the energy that you're bringing there isn't going to be your best, most fun self.
yeah.
I like that. Just kind of 1 date a week to be excited about. I can put the time aside where I'm like energized.
You need to get back on the horse.
I know. I just haven't had the will. I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Well, I was actually talking to one of my best girlfriends the other day, and she is my friend that bitches about not having a boyfriend. Like every day she's like, I'm so lonely, I want a boyfriend. And I'm like, you will not make any time for a guy in your life. And she's like a very like, regimented person. She's like, I need to be in bed by 8. And I'm like, well, what do you want? A boyfriend? Or do you want to be in bed by 8? Because sometimes you're going to need to like stay up till 9:30.
Yeah. And I think it's the kind of thing where if you really want it, you'll
make it happen.
You'll figure out a way to make it like a priority for you. And again, if you don't, that's also okay. Like, you know what I mean? I think that breaks are such an underrated thing, and you take the pressure off of yourself, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to go out and have fun. And then sometimes that is actually when it does happen for you, because you're just like relaxed and you're a better version of yourself. And usually that's when people want to set you up with people. Like, you know what I mean? If you're going out and you're meeting people, if you go out with your friends who are in a couple, and you're just like a fun person who's having a great time, that makes the other person more likely to think of someone who would be like, they'd be excited to have meet you.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But if you're looking at your watch like, it's 7:30, I gotta go. Like,
I'm gonna turn into a
Right.
pumpkin at 8.
yeah, then no one's gonna want to set you up.
Yeah. So then how long did you and your husband date before you got married?
I think we were together 3 years. I think we got engaged after 3 years, and we got married about 4
Oh,
years
nice.
of dating. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your wedding pictures are beautiful.
Oh,
We've
thank
obviously
you.
stalked the gram.
Of course, my best friend has been following you for a long time, and she's also getting married in Mayakoba.
Oh,
this
amazing.
year.
Which hotel?
I
Oof,
forgot.
Fake
Oh,
friend.
fake
Fake
friend.
Okay.
Katie, don't listen to
Wait,
this one. I love
speaking
you.
of fake friends, just an aside, Bailey, I found out last night, doesn't even follow me on TikTok. And
your own sister.
my own sister. And
Stab.
but I started my
Tell your
TikTok.
dad.
I know. I need to tell our parents. But I started my TikTok like last summer, and I had this like troll always trolling me, and her name was Princess Leia. And she would always troll me, and I'm like, oh my god, Princess Leia is always up my ass. And it was her. She created an account.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it was a birthday
How
present.
did you find out?
Okay,
She told me.
We printed
We
off the
printed out
pictures
everything
of
for her
the best
birthday.
trolls. Some
'Cause
real,
I love
some
the
me.
trolls. Yeah.
And that was a part of her birthday present. And she was like,
Wow.
oh my God, Princess Leia is obsessed with me. And I was like,
I
it's me.
am Princess Leia.
You thought you had a real stalker.
Yeah, no, it's just my sister.
Yeah.
That's
But-
really funny.
All right, do we want to get into some listener
Yeah.
questions, if you don't mind?
Of course.
We'll just do 2 because we have a little bit of time.
So
Okay,
basically, our listeners write in, and they just want some feedback from the sisters.
From a sister point of view. So, we want to give them honesty. It's just like how you guys give advice too. It's
you
like,
got to be real.
they're the 4th Brandt sister, so we kind of lovingly roast them, but we give them a little pat on the back and say, get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
And you're
sometimes-
not in the situation, so you have no skin. So you can tell them the
Exactly.
truth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's anonymous. And sometimes they're just like writing in to like give a little confession. And they're like, this is a safe space. This is sister time where
Those
we're
are
good.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's actually an update because like last week someone wrote in and it was like right before 4th of July. And she was like, okay, a couple weeks ago I was at a bachelorette party and like me and my friends were kind of drunk and I was a little suspicious of my boyfriend. So I made a fake dating profile using a new friend's pictures. And I immediately matched with my boyfriend. So she started catfishing.
Oh, wow.
Immediately.
Like it immediately.
Okay, so he's on the app.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Active.
Like, active.
Okay.
And so she starts catfishing him and like they're talking, whatever. She gets home, she lives with him. She's still catfishing him while like she's still like chatting with
Okay.
him. Then she has this friend come over to like pick her up to like go out. So he sees this girl that he's been like talking to in his house. He freaks out, whatever, and then
Not knowing it's his girlfriend.
And then she says, we have a trip planned for 4th of July. Stay tuned.
With the girl.
With the girl
Like,
that she
that
was
she
using
used
her
to make
pictures.
the profile.
So this
okay.
guy's like shitting his
Wow.
pants
It's like a
like
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Amazing.
I know.
Okay.
So we have an update.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a good one. It has a happy ending. All right. Hey, sisters. Just heard my story on the podcast today, so I'm here with some updates. First off, I am a little younger. I'm 25 and my boyfriend is 27. We met in college and have been together ever since. After reflecting and talking to my therapist, I only see her twice a month. Maybe need to up that to weekly. I for sure acted a little impulsively with my plan and got too deep with it. But as for the updated 4th of July trip, my boyfriend kept trying to get out with it and finally broke down and admitted he was on a dating app and matched with my friend. I told him I knew because I had a bad feeling he was cheating and asked her to do it, then wanted to make him stress. He said he understood and deserved it because what he did was awful. He assured me he never met with any of the girls in person or hooked up. He offered me his phone with the dating apps to see any of the texts or snaps with them. For my own sanity, I didn't want to look at any of it. He said he did it out of boredom and regrets it. I believe that he never hooked up with another girl, but at the end of the day, he broke my trust and I'm not going to be with someone I can't trust. Moving forward, I've always wanted to travel because I work remote. So I ordered espresso travel monitors and I'm going to be staying in a different state each month, living in Airbnbs or hotels. If I make my way over to Austin, let me know if you guys want to grab drinks. Love y'all.
Yes.
Good for her.
What a
That
happy
is a happy
ending.
ending. Yeah, I thought that was going to go in the direction of like reconciliation. I was getting
That's
a
what I
little worried
thought.
for her. That's great.
I love that.
Yeah, she's going to be traveling and stuff. Like, living her dreams. Sometimes you got to cut the dead weight.
Well, you have to say, if in the moment that you're creating the fake profile to catch your boyfriend, like even before you even get to the point where you're matching with this incredible story, but you'd have to say to yourself, what am I doing?
Right.
Like, I clearly don't trust this person
Yeah.
at all. Or there's something else wrong even that I'm making this profile.
Yeah.
But that's such a great story.
I know,
Yeah.
which I like that she was like with her friends. They were like drinking. And so it wasn't like a scary pit in the stomach of like, oh no, like I really need to face this. It kind of came about in a fun way. So hopefully that
Yeah.
was less dramatic. I don't know.
Definitely let us know if you're in Austin.
Yeah, let us know. And 25 is such a good age. Like, get back on the horse and just like saddle up, sister.
Saddle up.
Okay, this one is, she needs some help. She needs some advice, I mean. Hi, girls. Just want to start off by saying I love the pod.
Thank you.
She saw your iPad thing on TikTok.
That was the one.
the one.
That was the one.
Okay.
That's your big one?
Yeah. That was the
Where
big
you-
one.
You caught your boyfriend cheating.
Yes.
Via the
Yeah,
iPad.
Via the iPad.
Lots of nudes.
Wow.
She's
I
basically
became a gynecologist that day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I saw up inside.
That's traumatic. So much content.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the end, it was a good thing.
for us.
All right. So my advice I want to ask is, do I tell a girl when her boyfriend is consistently liking my selfie stories? And it gets more complicated because this guy and I used to date and we ended on toxic bad terms. But 3 years later and a lot of therapy, I've never been happier. And because I found happiness in myself through my newfound hobbies and love working out again, and overall being able to find comfortability in being alone again, I've decided to let said person into my life because he's long distance. He isn't even a thought in my head. And most of the time, until I post a selfie on my story, I don't even think about him.
Until he likes it.
Yeah, until he likes a selfie on my story, exclamation point. I didn't know if it's cause to send her alert because I know she doesn't like me and would probably think I'm trying to ruin her relationship. What do I do?
Ooh.
Wow.
Don't
Stay
tell
out of
her.
it.
Yeah.
Stay out of it, Paige.
I just liked the part where she was like, I've been in therapy, I'm doing all this stuff. That's why I let this person back into my life. Now I'm
Right.
back to
That
get a
should be-
little bit more toxicity.
That would be why you should block them. If
Yeah,
you're
keep
truly
them blocked.
improving. Yeah. I would block them if she doesn't want them to be doing that. Also, like, here's the reason I wouldn't say anything is because you don't, maybe if he's liking your selfies, he's probably liking a million girls'
Everyone's.
selfies. And maybe she knows and doesn't care, or, even if she doesn't, like, this isn't, a like isn't like such a crazy thing that to me it's like it would be irresponsible not to tell her. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It would be
It's
different if he was
almost-
sliding in the DMs.
Yeah, it's
The
almost
DMs.
like you are finding a way to get this person back into your life.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, I posted this photo and somebody liked it. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I say
Agreed.
block.
Yeah,
block and
block or ignore.
literally.
Yeah, to me it sounds like she kind of likes that he likes it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it sounds like to
Yeah.
me.
And
She
who
got a-
doesn't like a little like on a selfie? Like that's
Of
isn't that
course.
the point of a selfie?
And
Yeah.
you have a guaranteed like every time, You're welcome.
She like got a little too healthy in therapy and was like, I'm just gonna mix something up over there.
She went 360 back to unhealthy.
Yeah, she was like, I'm just gonna unblock him. It's fine. I'm not gonna talk to him, but I'm going to message his girlfriend and be like, watch the flames from afar.
He's just playing it fast. Maybe he's just playing it fast and loose with the likes, liking everything. Some
Yeah.
people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, but I feel better from therapy, but I'm not unblocking my ex.
Right.
We
That would be a step back,
we don't
I
need
think.
we don't need that.
Well, you're not bored. You're busy.
I guess.
Like, I don't need to block him because he can see all my TikToks.
Exactly. He has 9
Now
million
you're
views.
public.
Now I'm public.
Awesome. Do we have one more?
Do I dare?
Yeah, let's just do a little
Do one more.
Okay.
quick.
Go left, girl.
This is titled My Horrible Breakup.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I'm going to synopsize. So this girl was like loosely dating this guy. They like kind of broke up, but they were still in contact and they were like texting at the time. So like talking about something mundane, and then she like gets a very sexual text and she was
Okay.
like, this is obviously meant for
Someone
else. Like he just got a little
Did she say the
confused.
So they're
text?
together, but they're breaking up.
Yeah,
Ish?
they're
Okay.
they're still.
They're in the
It
gray.
seemed like that she didn't like knowing that he was seeing someone else, so she confronted him.
Okay.
And he said, and I quote, he had a moment of weakness due to anxiety and was texting someone from high school who did not live around here. He apparently blocked her immediately. He showed up at my house with flowers and a card professing his love and a plant. I have the picture of the card, which is why I wanted to talk about this. But while Jade's pulling it up, we're just going to finish this out so you can see like how it really illustrates it with the card. But this is the kind of person she was dealing with.
Okay.
It turns out he started dating this girl again April 2021. So they were in a serious relationship for an entire year of the year and a half we dated. He went on work trips, but was really away with her and vice versa. He said he was self-isolating due to childhood trauma or stress, but was really spending time with one of us. I swear I saw her name pop up on his phone, and he lied about who it was and said it was a work call. He even said he was going to see his mom because she was in the hospital, when really he was on a 2-year anniversary trip with his other girlfriend.
Oh my God.
She met his daughter and his parents. I met his sister and his work friends. He went on family vacation with my family. It's just mind-blowing how he was able to pull it off. I would also figure out shady shit and ask about it, and he would lie his way out of it. The worst is when I was going to message her, he begged me not to because it would hurt an innocent person. Hello, what about me?
Oh my God.
Then he told me if I interfered with his personal life, he would call my job and interfere with my career.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Mind you, it's my personal life too.
Me.
It sucks to feel like a year and a half was wasted. We had talked about moving in together, a future, made plans, etc. But it turns out he was about to move in with this girl. I guess that makes me the side chick. He's also a cop. Apparently, they're the worst people to date. I think he specifically was the worst person to date.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
you
guy
have-
sounds awful.
You have to see this. There's this. I think this part's my favorite. So
What part?
The front part?
the front part, because I like that he crosses things out or like adds his own little
He's an
words.
artist.
There's like that Disney. He picked a Hallmark card.
Yeah.
I know I fucked. Should I read it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I know I fucked up, and I know something.
How bad I hurt you.
Oh, how bad I hurt you. I just want you to know I'm sorry. I never meant to cause you any pain or to upset you. I do love you and care something deeply. I love you. Okay, a lot of I love yous. And then something is crossed out. I guess that's his name. Interesting. I like how in the card he crosses out, I hope I know how, and then I care so deeply, because he got one that says many people care so deeply
Yeah.
about you. Wow.
And then
couldn't
on the
buy a card that
on
was
the
from a
front
singular
of the
person?
card, it says something like,
The print.
Sometimes things seem easier when you know that people care. And then he writes, plus I do care about you.
2 exclamation points.
Oh my
What
God.
a loser.
Yeah.
But also,
and this is the guy he has another whole family.
oh
sounds
yeah,
like.
and that's why it was so hard to read his handwriting, because he had to write that in the car. He stopped at Walgreens and grabbed this, and then he had to write it in the car, and he's
Yeah.
bumpy road and stuff.
My advice, not that this girl's asking for advice, but just like take solace in knowing that this guy is never going to change. This is going to be his trajectory.
Totally. I mean, he sounds like a sociopath.
Yeah.
Who can do that? It's
Yeah.
almost like consider yourself lucky you're not the person he's about to move in with.
Yeah, well, that's like my ex that I moved to Colorado for a week last year, and this guy, he had told me he loved me, then he got a
invited her
girlfriend.
to move in.
No, he invited me to move in. He told me, then he ghosted me. Then he told me he loved me. Then I was like, okay, we're gonna get back together. Then he's like, actually, I have a girlfriend, and we moved in together. And I was like, okay. And then my dumbass, after 6 weeks, he's like, it's been you this whole time. I'm like, I know. And then we got back together. Then he had to go away for work for a while. Then I was going to move to Colorado for a week, and I did.
Well,
or it was supposed to be,
going
I was
to
moving.
Colorado
with
to
him?
live with
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
Okay.
Then it ended up being a week. We broke up. I got dumped, kind of.
And
She did.
flew out of the state.
Yeah.
She did. That's only a sister could say that.
Yeah. And then he got back with that girl right after, and then they broke up. So like he's always going to be this person, and I kind of, that made me feel better, like it wasn't me.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't you.
Like he's the lunatic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the dumbass for taking him back, but he's the lunatic for doing it.
He's the lunatic, just like that guy's the lunatic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that that's like someone's dad. So irresponsible.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. But he's like, I got a card. What more do you want? Like,
Yeah.
this
Oh my
is my
God.
apology.
And the card wasn't even, was like such a weird card.
That was a
It wasn't even
weird
relevant to the
card.
He's
situation.
busy. He doesn't have time to read all the things. He was like, this
I
one,
know.
I got to make a few edits, but
Well, he has 3 families. So.
yeah.
I always wonder how people can get away with that in the age of like technology and social
Right.
media. It's
Yeah.
kind of impressive. You guys have a lot of listeners with some really crazy stories.
I know. I love
There's
it.
some good
Yeah.
ones.
We love the 4th Brandt sisters.
Well,
But
should we wrap it up?
Yeah. Thank you so much. This has been so fun. I feel like this has just flown by.
I know.
You're a true sister.
Thank you.
Sister.
All you guys are now my 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh, wow. Let's add him to the roster.
Awesome. So everyone, if You Up is doing a live show in your city, go, because we had the best time.
Yeah.
So much fun.
And you could meet people there. Everyone was just like hanging out and talking and like, I don't know, conversating.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Conversing.
Yeah.
Conversing.
It's okay.
So do that and then follow Jordana and You Up. What's your guys' handles?
We're at you.up.podcast on Instagram. And you can find You Up anywhere you get your podcasts. And I'm at Jordana Abraham on Instagram.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here.
so much.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun. I really feel like I'm part of the family.
You are.
You are.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.